Hey, just curious, any of y'all missing Mr. Mean tweets right now? I'm not saying that the dude would like done things perfect. He would have done things not perfect. He would have made a lot of mistakes. He would have offended a lot of people. But you know what? He would have got all our troops back here alive and all our equipment back here too, if not at least destroy it. And being Mr. Mean Tweets, he would probably drop a bomb that was, encrusted in gold with his name on it because of his ego. But it wouldn't be a bomb that would like kill people. It would like explode and then create this giant cloud in the shape of his face just to make people mad. Yes, everybody, I know I am late to the party. That is just how it is. I know this came out almost 2 months ago, but it's 6 hours worth of watching, and I got stuff to do. But this was totally worth my time. So let's talk about the Fear Street Trilogy. So you can find these on Netflix. The first one was released July 1st of 2021. The second one, July 9th, and the third one, July 16th. Just to give you a little bit of backstory, this project had been in development hell since like 1997, and they finally started filming these in 2017. Now, mind you, they did film all 3 of them together, which took a long time, which is why even though they started in 2017, it wasn't supposed to come out until 2020. But of course, the thing that we all are supposed to get stuff and cover our face for, that you know what I'm talking about. That messed everything up, so it didn't come out. It sat on the shelf, and finally they were like, the producers were just like, we gotta find an alternative. They talked to Netflix. Netflix was like, sold, we'll put it out, and here we are. But what sparked interest in this even becoming a film is really because of 2 things. One, Fear Street was a book series, very successful book series, may I say that started back in 1989. I remember these books very well. I actually had a lot of them. I personally liked the cheerleader series that they had, which there's a lot of elements from that's actually in the film. The other thing is that this book series was done by an author by the name of R.L. Stine, who is like the Stephen King from the young adult to child audience, and he had an even more successful book series called Goosebumps, which spun off an amazing and super successful TV show that ran from 1995 to 1998. And they made 2 Goosebumps movies, one in 2015 that made $160 million, and another one in 2018 that made $95 million. So there was reasons to make this movie, because there was going to be some money. So they did finally get it made. And I was completely clueless as how this movie would play out, because it's a whole bunch of different stories. Now, they all take place in the same universe, which is the 2 towns of Shadyside and Sunnyvale, and there's this Sarah Fear, which is like a witch. Like that is all the same. But how they would do it in a film, I really didn't know. So being that there was 3 of them, I just assumed it would be 3 different stories. But I was very intrigued by the fact that it was rated R. So I was like, okay, so this isn't going to be like cute teeny bopper. So I'm intrigued, and I got to check this out. Because I was afraid they would do it like Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark, which that book series is still, to this day, awesome. And it's still creepy. Those drawings in there, man, they give you nightmares for sure. And the film, I was hoping it would just be an anthology of like the best stories from the books, which I know for sure there's 3 books, because I own 3 of them. There might be a 4th one, but anyways, I was hoping it would be like the best of those. But then they try to do like an actual like film and then use elements from that book in there, and it just did not work out at all. And I was just like, I mean, it was an okay movie. I mean, it was alright. I'll never watch it again. But I was disappointed. Nostalgically, I was disappointed. but that's what I was afraid this was going to be. So let's quickly break down each movie here and see what we got. First film takes place in 1994, and it looks like a film from 1994. I mean, it's the way it's filmed, the shots, the edits, the cuts, even the color scheme, and of course they do, you know, all the sets and the way people dress looks like 1994. But the fact that they made the film look like it, of course we get the beef between Shadyside and Somerville, like in the books. Sunnyvale is all like, I don't know, balloons and puppies and happy butterflies. It's like the perfect town. And the people in Shadyside, it's not too far above like the ghetto. It's like lower middle class. And they have a problem with serial killers, which is a really weird problem to have in a neighborhood. You know, I've heard of crime, but when your town is known for producing serial killers, that's crazy. And the people from Shadyside are like, yo, it's not our fault. You gotta understand, there's this witch named Sarah Fear, and she is possessing people and making people into serial killers, and we don't know why or how, but for some way, somehow, it is Sunnyvale's fault. And that's where the beef is, and that's pretty much the basis of the story, is trying to solve this mystery. So in the first film, I gotta say that just like, again, a 1994 type of film, there is some major gore. There is some serious carnage candy, and I found it awesome. The storyline to get us going, basically to get you interested to sit for 6 hours if you were to binge watch these three. They did a good job getting you caught in there, and I absolutely love this film. So for the first one, I'm going to say that this is a mind-blowing cinematic experience. Movie number 2 takes place in 1978, and just like the first movie looking like it took place in 1994, this looks like it took place in 1978. I mean, it's filmed like a movie from that era. There's a lot of yellows and oranges. The things aren't exactly sharp and clean in the film itself. It's kind of dingy, and all the characters are kind of dingy. Like, it looks like 1978. It looks very similar film-wise to like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, which came out from a similar era. And in this film, we're introduced to new characters, basically younger versions of the adults that are in the first film. And this one does a good job of prolonging the story and filling in some gaps. You know, basically enough to keep you interested to find out the mystery of what's going on. The kills in this one are very weak, actually, compared to the first film. The gore is not over the top as the first one. And the jokes, a lot of the jokes they try to do in here to add humor really miss for me. But overall, I mean, the film by itself is okay. With this film, I'd have to rate it as okay. So the final film takes place in 1666. And this film looks like a period piece, is what it looks like. It looks like when you see films that are taking place in the 1400s, the 1500s, 1600s, like this one is, and so on, like they have a particular finish to them as far as the film itself, and this looks like a period piece film. But with this film, this was one that it took me a little more effort to stay with it, because it starts off very, very slow, and it's a kind of weird because the cast from the first film are in this movie too, but they're playing totally different characters, so it kind of throws you off. But the worst thing is the accents. These accents are garbage. I was like, are they being serious right now? Because this is absolutely horrible. Why this was done, you know, I don't know. I would have believed that we were in 1666 without an accent. I'd be totally fine with that. As long as you spoke in dialect that they would have used back then and didn't use any modern slang terms or curse words or anything like that, I would have rolled with you. You didn't need the accents. They were god-awful. But once your ears adjust to this horror that is the accents, that's usually about the time where the film really starts picking up and really starts wrapping things up story-wise. I'd have to say, though, that the twist was completely predictable. I actually figured it out in the second film how this would end as far as the villain, but it was still a very enjoyable ride. And they did bring back some more gore compared to the second film, but definitely not like the first film. But they did tie everything up. They left a little ending there, so you could go into more films, more sequels per se. So with this film, I'd have to say, rating-wise, it was a good movie. But if I step back and I look at all three films as one experience, one film in itself, from beginning to end, how they tell a story, how they go back in different eras, it is brilliant and it is fantastic. So as the series as a whole, I'm gonna have to rate that as a mind-blowing cinematic experience.